I already made a list of reasons to complain about Street Fighter V, so now it's time to show the game some love. After all, I do like it a lot, something that those of you a little more fluid in sarcasm might have noticed already. But anyways, for those who didn't, or for those that still need a little more convincing to retire that old crapcon joke, here's 10 reasons to like Street Fighter V. Number 10. Updated looks. I listed this as a reason to complain. It might be for some people, but in my books, that's one head of a plus. Street Fighter is old, and sometimes it gets a little annoying how Capcom likes to play it safe and never change anything about most characters, while other franchises are a little more courageous with their decisions. It's true that many remain the same, like chun-li, though I suppose she already did her share of change in the Alpha series. But there's plenty of characters in SF5 that look differently from the way we used to know them. Some changes are small, like Vega finally feeling cold and putting a shirt on, though Cammy continues to resist the idea of wearing pants, while others, like Judy, decided to show up with a brand new outfit, which is surprising considering this is only her second appearance. Well, technically third, but we're all pretending Street Fighter Cross Tekken didn't happen, right? We also have to remember Birdie, aka Reverse Michael Jackson, who was a white, beefy punk in the first Street Fighter game that became black and now an overweight giant donut eating glad. Or how about Gaio, that finally remembered what branch of the military he belongs to and is now wearing the proper outfit for an Air Force pilot, made even more precise in his secondary costume. I could talk about how Urian's not a nudist anymore, or how Barok pretty much adopted the costume everybody picked in Street Fighter 4, but I feel I have to end it on a note about Ryu. Capcom was sadly not brave enough to alter the main character of the series, so Ryu appears in this game exactly as we always knew him. But they did come up with an alternate costume that adds a kick-ass beard, making him pretty much into a fireball-throwing version of Joel from The Last of Us. What they didn't expect though is how well this would be received, so they lost a great chance of doing exactly the opposite, which would be a great way of advancing Ryu's story. In a final fun fact, this costume, quickly dubbed Hot Ryu by the community, is now officially recognized as such by Capcom, which is pretty awesome and shows how closely the company works with its fanbase. Number 9. Returning characters. I don't know about you, but having old characters join the roster always gets my attention in a new fighting game. This type of change is a great way of making the title seem fresh and differentiated from the previous version. So the return of Nash, Birdie, Cutting and Rainbow Mika is more than welcome, even though I believe nobody expected to see Birdie again so soon. At least I didn't, and if you did, you're either psychic or really good friends with Combo Fin. Not only they came back, but they did so in a pretty awesome way, with updated looks and attacks. Nash is not a Gaio clone anymore, Birdie is weirder than ever, Mika has some of the coolest command throws in the game, and Karin actually abandoned her school uniform, a feat I doubt Sakura will achieve anytime soon. It's even better seeing Alex and Urien from Street Fighter 3 finally showing up again. Other than the Street Fighter 3 series, Alex only appeared in a fighting game exclusive for the Wii. Yeah, I would never accept that. And both were together in a bizarre Mugen style game called Capcom Fighting Jam, which totally seems made up, but it's actually true. We do need a few more returning fighters, but if that's not a cool selection to start with, I don't know what it is. I wonder who they could add now. How about Eagle from Street Fighter 1 and CVS 2? We can never have too many Fred Mercury's references. Or what about a character from rival schools? It would be nice to see both universes colliding. The options are too many to count, but I'll leave my vote for Nagari and his special move of swimming through the air. Number 8. Vega is not a charge character anymore. Okay, so maybe you play charge characters and you don't agree with me, but I'm putting my foot down on this one. Having this character, that is supposed to be super fast and agile, penalized by the limitations of charge-based attacks, was always a dumb move. And I'll give it to Capcom. I don't know if I would have the balls to change someone so popular like this, but I'm glad they did it. Hold up hands who, among us, never got one of his special attacks wrong, particularly his super moves in clutch situations, because getting those damn charge movements to work when you have a split second to enter your command is as hard as Fighting Sense in the 1994 movie adaptation of the series. Now, I'm not against charge characters, and I do believe most of them shouldn't change that, like luckily seems to be the case, but Vega really needed to go. It's funny to think how drastically changing this one little thing could affect the cast. Can you imagine how Ryu would play if he suddenly needed to charge his Hadokens? It's kinda like Junie in Street Fighter Alpha 3 that pretty much had Cammy's special move but with different inputs. Just please Capcom, if Blanca gets in, which I hope it doesn't happen, Don't let him be a motion character. He is annoying enough as he is now. Number 7. Stage transitions. I'm going out on a limb here and saying this in the plural, even though today there's only one stage with this sort of thing in Street Fighter V, but I think it's genius. The moment we first saw a ball of ramen fall in Chun-Li's head after a round and continue there during the next one, I was hooked. I remember waiting in anticipation to see what's the next wacky thing that we could see in other stages, but sadly that was it. Well, there was the bus on the other side of the screen, but it's all the same arena and not as cool as the noodles. However, I do believe there's more coming, and I frankly can't wait to see that. I always liked fighting games that made us able to interact with the stages, even if in small ways like this, so I'm a sucker for this kind of thing. That's one of the big reasons why, to this day, I still say Tekken 4 had the best selection of stages in the franchise, and the way Vega could interact with the cage in his screen was always an amazing little detail. So let us toast for stage transitions in Street Fighter V and wait to see what the future brings us. Maybe special finishers in specific places, like the fatalities in Eternal Champions, though a lot less gory? Who knows? Number 6. Easier combos. Are you a good player? Well, I'm not. I suck. Man, guess what? Most people suck at it too, even worse than me. So the way combos work in Street Fighter V is good news for players like me that sometimes have trouble getting the timing of those damn links. Everybody else seems to be able to do it perfectly ever since they passed potty training. It's not like anyone can get any combo in Street Fighter V every time, but it's certainly way easier than previous games. This is even more welcome by those old enough to be around during the 90s that suffered so much with irresponsible controls and inputs that simply made no sense. Seriously, you guys wouldn't believe the type of shit SNK got away with in the old days. I don't even like the input for Marco's Ryuku Rambo in Mark of the Wolves. Who the hell uses 3/4 circle motions? P.S. I refuse to call this character by the absurd name Cushnut Butt. What the hell, SNK? Marco Rodriguez is a perfect name for a Brazilian character. Well, I guess that's it for now. I don't want to make this video too long, so I'll see you guys again for the second part of my list. Please make sure to like the video and share with your friends. Also, let's see if you guys can guess my next 5 reasons. I'm pretty sure no one will predict at least one of them, and yet you will all agree with me. So until then, keep playing Street Fighter V and subscribe to the channel if you haven't.